Hi everybody, this is Mr. Siegel, and I'm going to give you a quick video tutorial on how to place markers on your Google Map for a world tour of impactful women. So we're going to start with the Google Doc that Mr. Kamoulis has shared out with you called A World Tour of Impactful Women, and we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom. When we get to the very bottom, we'll notice that there's a link set that has Google Map on it. When we click that, it's going to pop up this Google Map. Now I've already created 5 locations for you to give you help on how to organize your person. So you'll notice that they're organized based on the same way the Google Doc is. Women in STEM, women in arts and entertainment, women in American government, women in sports, and women leaders in the 21st century. So I decided to pick a woman in arts and entertainment. I picked an author by the name of Edith Wharton. So a lot of cool things about Edith Wharton that you can find online, but one of the things that I found very interesting is despite being classified as an American author, she actually spent a large amount of her time overseas. In particular, she died in France. And so she's actually buried in Versailles, per her wishes. So I looked up the cemetery that she's located in, and so I just typed it into my search bar, and here's the cemetery. So what I want to do is I want to add a marker to this map. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to my search bar, and you'll see it says add marker. So I'm going to place that marker right here. I'm going to give it a title, which is the name of the author, the name of the person. So this is Edith Wharton. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the chart that Mr. Kamoulis gave to you where you're supposed to be typing in your information, and I'm going to copy and paste all the information about Edith Wharton into that chart, from that chart into this. So now I've got a little bit of information about Edith Wharton in here. Now, the best place to do this is in the Google Doc and copy and paste. However, if you want to add extra information, for example, I want to add a little piece about why this location is so important, which is part of this assignment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Shift and Enter, and that will allow me to move down. If I hit just Enter, you see it just saves it. So now I have to go back and edit. So this is the burial plot of Edith Wharton. So this way it's not just some random location. If I decided to pick where she was from, which is New York City, then I would want to hunt down this specific place that she lived in New York City. I wouldn't just tag Central Park. She didn't live in Central Park. So make sure you're specific and creative about where you're placing your markers. Now, once I've got this and I hit save, I want to make sure I add my multimedia. So I'm going to add my images or media using the camera button. Now, what's great is I have YouTube searches that are available to me. I have YouTube URLs if I have found other YouTube clips previously that I want to use. I also have Google image searches, photos I can pull from my image drive. So here's a PBS piece about Edith Wharton. So I can just click this one and select, and it inserts it for me. If I want to add another one, you'll see in the bottom right corner is a little plus sign. So I'm going to hit plus. Now let's do a Google search for an image. So this looks like an interesting one. Now, before I click select and I dump it into my Google map, what I want to make sure is I follow that link that's on the bottom of the Google search, because I have to include any copyright information. So since this image came from this website, we're not getting super specific about your formatting. But since it came from that website, I'm going to copy that website. I'm going to click select and enter that picture, and then at the bottom of my description I'm going to hit Shift Enter again, and I'm going to paste in the link to that image, because while YouTube videos, as you can see when you play a YouTube video, I can click YouTube and it'll send me to YouTube, but when I click on the image, nothing happens. So I can't just follow the link for the image to go someplace else. Now, before I'm done, I want to make sure that not only is my important influential woman placed in the right category, but it has the right color. So since she's a woman in arts and entertainment, I want to make sure I change her color using the paint can style to purple. And the other thing that I need to make sure is I need to make sure she's in the section for women in arts and entertainment. You'll notice that when I look on the left, Edith Wharton is all the way down here under women leaders in the 21st century. So I need to click and drag her up. If you forget, make sure it's color-coded because we'll be able to see it immediately where all the colors are. So you can see that all the purples are together, all the greens, blues, oranges, etc. If you forget which color is which and you can't look on the left, if you go back to the document that Mr. Kamula shared with you, you'll see that all of them are color-coded right in the document as well. So you can just follow along in that document and it'll tell you what color to do it in. And that is how you're going to place all your markers for your influential women.